Get Set Swim by Jeanine Atkins. Yeah. Jasenia's ponytail swished as she skipped downstairs. Hurry, Mommy, she called. This was Jasenia's first year on the swim team. Her first meet at a rival team's pool. At the door, Mommy tucked a box into her purse and pinched her scarf together against the cold. Jessica raced with her brother Louis down the street. Watch where you're going, Mommy said. Stick together. At the community center, Jasenia climbed on the bus and sat with Anna. When Louis tried to balance on the seat behind him, Mommy settled him down by talking about when she had been a girl in Puerto Rico. Our house was so close to the ocean that it stood on stilts, Mommy said. We used to slide down grassy hills on palm leaves. The sky was very, very blue. Like that? Louis pointed out to the sky outside the window. No, Mommy looked over the tall, crowded buildings. This sky isn't blue enough. Jasenia was tired of the dreamy way Mommy spoke about the brilliant blue sky and sea that seemed to stretch forever. She pressed closer to the older girls on the seat ahead of her. Weston won by 8 points last time, Nicole said. We never win meets away from home. In Puerto Rico, there were green lizards that cling to whatever they bite, Mommy told Louis. We girls used to hang them from our ears. Louis put his thumb in his ear hole lobes and wiggled his fingers like lizards. Jasenia turned to the window, thinking about how her mother had never learned to swim. Mommy had made sure that Louis and her got swim lessons, but it took more than dreams to win a race. Jasenia was scared. How could they compete against the lucky girls who live in these houses? As the space between the houses widened, so did the empty space inside Jasenia. The bus stopped at Weston School. Mommy kissed the top of Jasenia's head. She smiled as if she were breathing in a garden though Jasenia knew her hair smelled just like the pool. Ti amo, Mama said. I love you too, Jasenia replied. In the locker room, the girls put on their swimsuits and tucked their ponytails into caps. They stretched in the hallway as Coach Eats said, Don't worry, because the pool here is bigger. Everyone is equal in the water. Their pool probably isn't broken half the winter, Nicole muttered. There are more girls on their team. Just keep your eyes on where you're going, the coach advised. Now, get in there and win. The first race was for older swimmers. The water surface broke with thundering dives. Jasenia cheered. It was hard to tell one girl from another until they turned. Then Jasenia recognized the way Nicole pulled in her knees before whipping them out. She sped ahead and ramped triumphantly into the wall. Soon it was Jasenia's turn to stand on the edge of the pool between the two girls and from the other team. Their overhead lights buzzed. The pool hummed. Jasenia rocked from heel to toe. She tried to breathe long enough into her belly, the way Coach taught her, but her short breaths caught at the back of her tongue. Mommy waved. Louis wiggled his fingers like lizards. Jasenia's feet pressed flat on the smooth platform. Get ready, the coach called. Goggles snapped as the girls pulled them on. Jasenia leaned towards the water. The empty space inside her seemed to fill with the magnificent blue that Mommy remembered from Puerto Rico. The pool was exactly blue enough. Get set, go! The girls dived. The quiet, still water turned frothy and loud. Water streamed off Jasenia's goggles and rushed past her ears. She stretched her arms as long as Mommy did when she talked about the great wide sea. Then Jasenia caught the sight of the girl next to her lane moving ahead. Jasenia gulped in some water. Her tired legs sank. She kicked hard again until one finger touched the end of the pool. She splashed up and gasped for air. Great race, Coach Eads gave her a hand out. You just lost a few seconds at the end when you looked at the side. Mommy was there and hugging her before Jasenia could warn her and Louis that they'd get wet. I'm so proud of you, Mommy said. Jasenia pulled on a sweater to watch more of the races, and as the afternoon wore on, it became clearer that they were going to lose the meet. Jasenia cheered even louder and hugged her friends harder. When it was her last turn to swim again, Jasenia tried to fill herself with calming air, but she kept taking quick, nervous breaths. She shifted her weight from one foot to the other. She wondered if she could swim fast enough to win. Jasenia rose to her toes. She curled her arms and shoulders like a wave. You can do it. Jasenia seemed to hear her mother's voice and hear her hands broke the water. As her hands broke the water, she sped ahead faster, faster, not only for herself, but for her team, but for Mommy. And she sped ahead faster and faster, not only for herself and for her team, but for her Mommy too. She didn't look back. She didn't look to the side. Jasenia swam with all her strength of her mother's dreams for her. Then her fingers tapped the wall. Joyful girls pulled Jasenia from the pool, crying, You won! You won! Jasenia turned to her mother and said, Ti amo. I love you too, Mommy smiled. When the meet was over, the girls changed and dried their hair. Mommy gave Jessica a box as they stepped outdoors. Gracias, Jasenia laughed as she pulled out earrings shaped like lizards. She slipped them on and danced a little salsa to make the earrings wiggle. Let's go, Jasenia, Anna said. The sky had turned a brighter blue. Their team would win another time. Jasenia knew it. She spun around and called, We'll be back. The end.